done. Let's go. No? Alright, so hi everyone, my name is Brian. I have 3 pieces for you all tonight. So I'll be starting with the one that got previewed in the video. So I'll just get into it. That one is titled Superhero. If I was a superhero, I'd try to help the weary with my super strength and act sincerely. I'd use my super sense to provide super defense, protecting from every offense in the past and present tense. I'd use my super left to protect the day and night. Then I'd super right into the history books so they could tell your stories super right. I'd use all my might to wish for a super future and see all the smiles bright. But would everything be alright? Would super strength lead to future fighting? Superpowers getting new super weapons and creating super plight? If it created bomb sites and super spite, then I'd go to the superstore and trade for super flight. Fly to new horizons and paint a skyline over a rising sun. Shining super lifelines, raising future sons and daughters fine. Just gotta give them supervision. All so they can super see how to supersede, replacing ignorance and greed with the super consciousness we need. Just gotta plant that super seed. Let it grow in a community garden where they're set up to succeed. Grow the roots, have them rise through concrete, change the structure of the street with the way they speak. Making speeches super deep, giving peace of mind to the shallow till there's peace of mind. I'll share a peace of mind, make a reek around, taking time to teach you fine. Follow the meter of the lines, measure out a critical mind, and learn the features of the ground. Use all that to build a super leader's mind and a justice seeker's spine. Growing stronger from each decline, and learning how to weep in time. And it helps to be a superhero. Hearing to be a healer and inspire the future dreamers. Dear future, I hear you got superheroes and super sheroes, challenge your present day procedure. Just telling you that I'm a believer, believing in super hearing and super seeing, giving super strength to the conscious speakers. Their time is getting nearer, and they know who they are when they look in the mirror, saying, I'm a super being. I believe in breathing, being a revolutionary, and finding meaning in being me.
Super sexy! Super sexy!
So, I didn't mention this before, but I feel like I probably should. So I graduated from UCSD this was last June. So I feel like I hear them kind of spread out a little bit. Most of them are over there. Alright, so for this next piece, it's a little bit longer. I feel like most spoken word artists have one like this. This is my only one that's like this, so it's a one-shot deal. But it is a love poem.
He's single!
So, again, I'm gonna just get into it. I start off with the singing though, and I'm a terrible singer, so bear with me for one line. Alright. L is for the way you look at me. And frankly, that shit is a mystery. There's so many intricacies, how can I possibly know the meanings? Like what happens when you smile and shake your head. Are my chances dead? Or was my joke so old it turned sour and I seem sweet instead? And that touch on my shoulder, is it to tell me nice try? That I'm a nice guy and that it'd be a great place to cry? For some other woman that happens to catch my eye? Or maybe the touch was to see if I'm rough. A test to see if the heat was from friction or infatuation. To get my attention and ease my tension. And that's just a few of many conventions. Because the way you look at me is a test in concentration. Do I gauge your moves as apprehension, affection, or a platonic connection? Which I'm fine with, but I want to know if you're my strong femme friend, or the woman I want to build the foundation around, and either way I don't want to offend. But tell me, what letter can I use to describe the way I look at you? Can it be you? Because when I look at you, I think, yes, she must be better than any dream I could guess. And yet, I hesitate. Maybe it's a lack of confidence. Or my conscious being conscious of reality, or you are you and I am me, and together we are them and not we. Never a couple, but a pair, it seems. Because I may be warm-hearted and tender, but I tend to look over a garden of my own insecurities, and I've gotten pretty damn good at it. Guess that means I'm a pretender. Thinking I know the meaning of love and care, but never touched or felt what it is to dare. To jump into the air, off a cliff into an unknown world where you are there. Searching for something that's common, but at the same time rare. So, just this once, let me pretend to pretend. Let me spend the next few minutes to explain why I'm more than a friend. But maybe me and you doesn't make any sense. Maybe me and you doesn't make any sense, but I want to change us to a first-hand experience. or I've got the courage to hold your hand and let these feelings expand. Let me tell you that when I look at you, I think I finally found love too. Like hearing you giggle is a clue, let me solve the mystery of why we need hearing to. And when your eyes caught my view, I knew. That passion burns like the color of your iris. And every time you blink is like a sunrise I can't miss. Spreading warmth like a sunset that I can't miss. But that doesn't mean I'm sick of you and I want to move on to V. So I'll study the various outcomes of we. Like, maybe I couldn't find the courage. And that idea became a memory that was then forgotten and buried. Or I did find it, and you said no, and I became stronger for the next woman to see. Or you said yes, and I was too happy to express it subtly, and that became our first memory. Or maybe it's some other possibility I can't foresee. Because you are still you, and I would never write your destiny for you. But I can hope we build towards the same vocabulary, and together arrive at L-U-V. And no, I can't spell too well. But when I fell in love, I said farewell to a couple letters, and found you instead. I messed that one up the last time, too, yeah. All right. So this next piece is very important to me. I started writing it in 2012. I started writing this piece in 2012 when Trayvon Martin was killed. And I just finished this, well, I thought I finished this piece last year, about a week before Michael Brown was killed. And once that happened and all of the successive events of police brutality against the black community have been showing up in the media, I started adding to it, both because I felt it was necessary and because it was kind of reflective of the ongoing struggle for justice. And you know, like that could be seen just with like Walter Scott being killed in South Carolina earlier this week. It's important to me because as an Asian American, as part of the API community, I think it's important that we show solidarity with the black community and with other people of color, especially with police brutality being such an ingrained system in this country and just oppression all over the world. So this is important to me because it's kind of the way I've been processing those events. So I just want to say justice for Walter Scott, for Akai Gurley, for Rakia Boyd, and pretty much every other person of color and black person that's not in the media and is still oppressed. So this will be my last piece for tonight. This is the first time I performed it, so hopefully it's gonna be good. I call it Perspectives. And yeah, thank you. The opening is a chapter, setting up what it is to be a factor. There's a pattern we have to shatter, so it's time to be an actor. Not an actor because there's no presence on the TV chatter. I want to show that Black Lives Matter. But it seems the massive ads were meant to make us matter because media representation in the medium equals no presentation and modeling minorities with tedium. You want to model a minority? Then look at school books labeled history. It models oppressive stories with omissions of truth for the writer's glory. There's a few concessions, selling snacks of progression and discounting the presence of suppression. Cheapens past with misdirection, saying past wrongs were corrected so the subject of racism is rejected and we should just accept it. Obama was elected so the system's not defective. That thinking will infect kids with wrecked perspectives, leave them dejected or arrested with hoodies being bullet hole dissected. Turning a blind eye is not corrective. It's a directive to quiet voices with direction. Not north, south, east, or west, but towards progress. So it makes sense that we gotta celebrate our differences and affirm the actions that give life a spice that's more than nice. It's beautiful. So I'm not gonna stand around and wait for eventually, because eventually leads to never, and never is too damn long to stand on a box of equal opportunity, hoping equity will suddenly be. Admittedly, my privilege lets me see. So check me when I need, because it's not enough to only be a learner. I'll be a teacher with no degree on paper, speaking degrees of truth and providing proof so growth comes sooner rather than later. That's my perspective. Where work is collective, people are reflective and respected. Bubbles are not made to be protective. So we gotta break out, be creative enough to project and say what's necessary to protect all the things we should expect to get. Thank you.